And we are back. Welcome to my final FPL draft video. Now, if you guys want to get yourself involved in my FPL league this year, you can do so with the code available on your screen right now. I'm going to leave it there throughout the entirety of this video, whilst keeping a link available to you in the description and in the pinned comment of this video. So if you think you can build yourself a team better than the one that I have created here, then please let me know by joining the league down in the description below and seeing how you fare. Now, what I'm going to do for this video, I'm actually going to go through two separate teams that I have made. Both are completely locked in now, unless there's like some massive injury in the next 24 hours, then both of these teams are going to be locked in. I've got one team for me and one team for Dave sitting right here. And it's going to be two completely different tactics. One, which will be my main team, which is going to be how I normally operate fantasy football year in, year out. I normally do pretty well, so I'm going to stick with my usual process for that. However, for Dave's team, I'm going to be trying something completely new, trying to utilise some of the new rules put in place, most notably that storing up of 5 transfers over the course of a season without having to expend any of them. So, before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video and subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. We're going to be posting at least 2 or 3 FPL videos a week on this channel. We're probably going to do a wrap-up video every single week to see how you guys all done. I will then do my team for the upcoming game week as one video, and then we'll also do a final video which will be posted tomorrow on this channel regarding the FPL challenge, because we're going to be doing the FPL challenges this season as well. So that is how we're going to do things this season on the SO99 Gaming channel. Thank you very much for watching as always, and without any further ado, let's get into my final FPL draft, which will obviously start with tomorrow's matches. So this is what I have gone for. Now, there aren't actually many changes from my first draft, but it's mainly in the defence where we have seen the biggest changes of the lot. Firstly, we now have David Raya in goal. That is because he's the cheapest Arsenal defender, and I didn't really look at it like this until recently, but when you think White's 6.5, Saliba's 6, Gabriel's 6, Calafiori is 6, that's expected to be Arsenal's backline, then Raya's 5.5. If you're going to have an Arsenal defender, which I think you probably should, then it just makes the most sense to get the cheapest one of that lot, which is David Raya. And that means you don't have to worry about your goalkeeper spot. You can just play David Raya every single game with the expectation that they will continue to do well defensively this season. And obviously my backup is still just a 4 million goalkeeper. It doesn't really matter which one of them you go for. In defence, I've gone for Porro, Gahey, Trent, Konsa and Robinson. Now, I have not currently got a Newcastle defender in there. I have picked Mark Gahey on the assumption that he will eventually sign for Newcastle. I think most people are expecting that deal to go through. It's a shame it's not gone through already, because I would have loved to have had a Newcastle defender for this opening fixture. There is a part of me that is still tempted to just switch it to Dan Burn or Lewis Hall now and then use my free transfer to make it Gahey once the season starts. But to be fair, against Brentford, I can still see Crystal Palace getting a defensive clean sheet, and the expectation is that Gahey will play until he is sold. Pedro Porro, I think most people have gone for him anyway. The one concern about him is that they have made a change to the bonus point system, which means when teams concede now, it's a lot harder for defenders to get bonus points, so that could be an issue for Porro. But going forward with Spurs' early couple of fixtures, I expect him to do well. Trent is Trent, most expensive defender for a reason. Liverpool have great fixtures. For me, Trent's a must-have. And then Konsa and Robinson, both 4.5, both have tough opening fixtures, but then have some pretty good ones after that. And at 4.5, they are some real bargains. In midfield and up front, it's basically the exact same. The only change I've made in the midfield is I've swapped out Tielemans for Smith Rowe. Tielemans was unlikely to start for me in this opening weekend anyway, so I think switching to Smith Rowe with how good Fulham's fixtures are in these opening weeks is a good shout. I think everyone expects Smith Rowe to play for Fulham. I think everyone expects Smith Rowe to do well for Fulham, so at 5.5, he's just a great option to have. And then, like I say, in my previous draft, I spoke about this midfield. Palmer, Eza, Saka, Bruno, all very good value in my opinion. They're all going to be taking penalties for their respective club. Yes, it means there's no Mohamed Salah, but when you look at the balance of it, Palmer, Eza, Saka, Bruno, surely combined are going to outdo whatever Salah and a couple of the cheaper options are going to do. And then up front, exactly the same principle. I could have Haaland, but instead I've gone for Isak, Watkins and Armstrong because the expectation now is that I'm hearing Watkins will be taking Aston Villa's penalties, and that's why I took Tielemans out. I had Tielemans in because I thought he would be taking Villa's penalties. The reports I'm seeing suggest it is now going to be Watkins, so Watkins is the obvious choice, and I don't need Tielemans anymore. Isak because of Newcastle's fixtures, and Adam Armstrong remains in the team because he is the highest goal contributor from the Championship last season. And Southampton had some relatively good opening home fixtures where I expect Armstrong to contribute once again. So that is going to be my actual team, and I'm going to take this week by week, making transfers here and there as and when I'm going to choose to. I'm going to do this exactly the same way I normally run my FPL. If I can store up transfers, I will, but in terms of actually building a team to make the best possible start to this season, we will then go over to Dave's team, where you will see that we have got something completely different. Like I say, all 15 players are different in this team, and it's a completely different approach. Basically, I will not touch this team. For the first 5 game weeks of the season, this team will not change unless there's like a major injury. Then I'll make the literal one change. Other than that, I am saving up all the transfers for the first 5 weeks, and I've picked myself a team that I think will do well in these first 5 weeks. Firstly, like I spoke about before, I've got the Nottingham Forest players. Sells, Gibbs White. I did originally have Wood as well, but I actually think Muniz is going to outperform Wood in these first 5 fixtures. In defence, all the reports are saying that it's going to be Quansah that's going to be starting for Liverpool ahead of Konate, so he's in at 4.5. Everton have good fixtures, second best clean sheet record, so Mikalenko is in. Martinez, 4.5 for Manchester United. Whether he's playing left back or centre back, I expect him to do well. Cucurella is in there for now, but obviously he won't play against City in terms of my team, because obviously I think the expectation is City will get a couple against Chelsea. But after that, Cucurella against all of the other opposition should do well. And Castagna, same as Robinson in my main team. Fulham fullback. Fulham have some good fixtures to start off the season. This time in midfield, like I say, it's all about having the best possible players for these opening weeks of the season. Gordon, Newcastle have fantastic fixtures. Gibbs White, Forest have fantastic fixtures. Declan Rice has already racked up 3 assists since he's come back to the Arsenal team in pre-season. He's going to be continuing to take Arsenal corners. He's going to be potentially pushing further forward as well if Mika Marino comes into the side. Salah, an obvious choice if you've got the money to afford him. Liverpool have some fantastic fixtures. And Kunku, the expectation is he's going to be playing up front. He's 6.5. He's going to be contributing. Again, a must-have if you can't afford to have Cole Palmer with the fixtures that Chelsea have. And then a front line of Erling Haaland, because I had to have him in one of my teams. Dominic Solanke, because as much as I think you could still go for Chris Wood here over Solanke, I feel like Solanke's worth having a punt on. I think Tottenham have some relatively good opening couple of fixtures. Their away games aren't great, but he's been brought in to score the goals. Let's see if he scores the goals. That's why I'm going for Solanke. And then finally, Rodrigo Muniz as my backup striker for the opening week against Manchester United. But then obviously he will come into the side for the remainder of the opening 5 weeks with Fulham's easy run of fixtures. Backup goalkeeper for now is Jorgensen. I hope he's the one that Chelsea are going to go for, but we'll see in that regard. If it does end up being Sanchez, that could be an issue because I don't want Sells in every single game. But that is the gamble I'm going for with Dave's team. No transfers for the opening 5 weeks. Stack out a team that should not have any issues for those opening 5 weeks. Then we'll reassess this team again in 5 weeks' time. Change out the relevant players that then start having easier fixtures going into the next part of the season. And then we'll see how that pays off. Will this team do better than my main team? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching as always. Hopefully you got yourself some good insight as to what possible ways you could approach FPL this season with just 1 day left to sort out your teams. Don't forget to join the SO99 League, available, like I said, in the comment section and in the description, and with the league code in the top corner of your screen throughout this video. Thank you very much for watching as always. I'll see you tomorrow for the FPL Challenge.